Alright, fellas, here you're back in Pokemon Masters, and Chairman Rose and Copperajah is going to be dropping tomorrow with the Galar to coincide. No, I can't speak. I am tired. But anyway, yeah, tomorrow there's going to be a ton of cool stuff coming out for the Galar Villain Arc. You're obviously going to have, the event itself, as well as the actual, the villain event and the actual villain arc chapter in the main story, which is great. You're going to have Rose here dropping as well. A 5-star Select Scout, which is probably for Galar exclusive characters, because there's also going to be the Extreme Battle. I'm not doing a video over the Extreme Battle, because Galar has a grand total of 1 free character, I think. I'm trying to think of a free... Okay, no, none of the NPCs are Galar. So yeah, there's literally 1 free Galar character. Besides like Dojo Gloria, or not Dojo Gloria, Lodge Gloria, and I guess Normal Gloria if you picked up on like a ticket or something. But yeah, no free, and only Hop as the free character for Galar. So any type of run I would do would be like a pay to win run, I guess you could say, or like a pay to use, and those are kind of just useless, and there's no point in really posting that video. And I don't even know if I can beat it, because obviously it's going to want steel types. I've got Gloria at 1 out of 5. That's my only Galar steel type. Oh, and Marnie and Hop. So I guess I do have a full steel team, but still, there's a lot of things wrong with that team, but still, whatever. I'm not really going to plan on defeating that event. I don't have a guide or anything for it. It'd be way too much of a pain in the neck. We're going to get a bunch of other cool events as well, but of course, the big part of this video is recommending you to summon for Rose, or not recommending you to summon for Rose. So, Rose here is essentially... I would say probably a beefed up Signasuit Giovanni, because they're both really, really similar in aspects, but I think Rose may be a bit better. I think he may be better. I could be wrong. You could definitely correct me if you want, but I think he's probably better, right? So looking at his base kit here, obviously he's a Striker, he's a Steel type Sing Pair, he's got Copperajah, which can Dynamax, and his stats here are okay. They're not really the greatest stats. Level 150. He's got 742 HP, pretty average. 390 attack, which is a little bit on the lower end, but it's still pretty high, so no big deal there. 130 in both defenses, which is actually a little bit low for a Striker, but, you expect around the 150 range, maybe a little bit higher than that, but this is, not around that area. Plus, it's level 150, not level 140, so it's going to be even lower for most people, right? 251 speed, which is okay, not really that great, and then 297 special attack, which doesn't matter. So pretty average or below average stats, I would say. Nothing really impressive for that, but he does have a lot that makes up for it, right? So, looking at his moves, he's got Iron Head, Stone Edge, and High Horsepower, and if you notice, they have power increases and gauge increases because he's got Hit the Gas 5, right? So they're all 4-gauge moves, but they all have a very highly increased power, right? About 50% buff, which is great. So 150 base power minimum Stone Edge, 159 minimum base power High Horsepower, and 138 minimum base power Iron Head, which is great. And of course, all those can turn into max moves. Max Rockfall, causing a Sandstorm. Max Quake, raising special defense for allies. And then G-Max Steel Surge, applying a steel damage field effect to the opponent's field of play, which is great, right? And then his training move here, of course, raises his attack by 6, raises his crit by 3, increases his physical moves next by 1, but then lowers his speed by 2. Which, honestly, I would still say that's good, right? Speed debuffs obviously suck, but if you could bring like Skyla or literally any speed support and you'll be good, right? It'll mitigate it for the most part. And you definitely do want a speed support. If you're running this guy, you want either free moves next with like Ingo or something, or you want gauge acceleration, or you want speed, or you want all of them, right? Because this guy is not fast at all. He's going to be lowering his speed, so you're definitely going to need some sort of speed support. Especially because if you're going to run him with Palatine's Marnie is also slow, so you're going to need a speed buffer for that too. If you're going to be running ground, Courtney is also pretty slow, so you're going to need a speed buffer there. And Rock, I don't think Diantha is overly slow, but obviously she's not going to help your speed problems, so you're still going to want a speed support, right? So this debuffing his speed is not a big problem, because you're going to have to bring a speed support anyway. Even if you didn't do this, you would have such bad gauge issues with the 4-gauge moves here, plus your, zone user, which, that's just how it is. So looking at his base kit here, Rose is really strong. Just at his base kit here, Hit the Gas 5, and then all these powered up moves here. And I didn't even go over his other passes. I'm an idiot. He powers up his steel moves here with his Rose's Results passive skill here, and his moves never miss, which is great for Stone Edge because you might as well call it Miss Edge or Stone Miss or some shit, because I always manage to miss Stone Edge at critical points, even in the main series. Fuck Stone Edge. So the moves never miss is great, of course, even if he has minus like 6 accuracy. I feel like they're going to try that on the extreme battle, because if his moves can't miss, then obviously they're going to be like, oh, we can just debuff everybody's accuracy into all living hell. They probably will try that. But yeah, he also powers up his steel moves. I would say this is probably a 50% multiplier. We don't know yet, at least I don't think so. But I would say this is probably a 50% power multiplier to his steel moves, which applies, of course, to Iron Head and G-Max Steel Surge. And that's going to be great, right? It's going to be amazing. So keep that in mind. Okay. And P moves and Max moves expansion. When a move used by the Pokemon is successful, target becomes all sync pairs. So basically, this is extended range. That's about all you can say, right? For both normal moves and max moves. That's it. That's the only reason it's worded like that. It's because it applies to both normal moves and max moves. So all of his moves here are AoE, and all of his max moves are AoE, and there's no damage decrease to it. That's a pretty strong skill, right? AoE flinches too. 30% chance to just raise hit a flinch. That's amazing. Especially looking at his grid. Does he have aggravation? If he has aggravation in his grid, okay, it doesn't seem he does, but that's still 30% chance to flinch, and it's all enemies. That's insane. It's no wonder they didn't. It's no wonder that they didn't give him aggravation, because having an AoE flinch with aggravation would be just insane. But yeah, that's a great ability there for sure. Having that 30% flinch chance for all enemies, and then of course just hitting 138 base power here with Iron Head, being powered up by Hit the Gas 5 and his Rose's Results passive skills here. Those are great. And then, of course, Stone Edge and High Horsepower, having AoE rock and ground moves that don't have split power like Earthquake or Rock Slide is just amazing, right? That's an amazing ability to have. He's super strong because of it. Now, when it comes to recommending summoning for him, because obviously I generally try to recommend units to summon without looking at the grid. Even if we do look at the grid, he doesn't have anything important here. Trinity with NPR, not really that great. Unless you want some physical moves up next, which is whatever. But other than that, nothing crazy. And Sand Shelter. I would generally just... I'm trying to think of it. I probably would lean towards not summoning for him despite his strength, just because Dojo Gloria is out, and I already recommend people to summon for that banner because that dual rerun banner is insane. Lysander and Gloria are both crazy, and I'd say they're probably still on the same level of Rose in terms of overall strength. Rose covers more types, but obviously, when it comes to just pure strength, those units are probably about as strong, right? And then the anniversary, of course, is going to be coming up soon, as well as the part 2 of the Galar Villain arc. I don't actually remember how long Rose lasts for. He's definitely going to last until August, right? Because the second part of the Galar Villain arc starts in late July, early August, essentially. I'm pretty sure it's the 30th of August, or 31st not August, 31st of July, or something like that. I could be wrong, but I do think so. So, yeah, keep that in mind. That's when that would start, so that means that Rose's banner lasts farther beyond that, right? Probably like the middle of August, right? Actually, probably the end of August, because Steven, if I remember right, Signasuit Steven, he came out like 2 weeks before the anniversary, and then he ended like right before Ash came out, I believe, and then Signasuit May and Brendan, I'm pretty sure, did the same thing, due to both being a part of the Hoenn villain arc as well, right? Okay, so Chairman Rose, he lasts until, 19th of August. So you've got yourself over a month here to get him, if you do want him. So you can definitely wait for the data mine and try and pull him here. Obviously, what they're going to do is they're going to do a data mine for the first half of August, and then once all these villain arc banners leave, then obviously they're going to release the data mine directly after that for the anniversary, and we're going to get all that stuff, right? So keep that in mind, right? Rose is definitely going to last until the August data mine, or the first half of August data mine, and then you can make your decision there after seeing the part 2 of the Galar villain arc characters, as well as whatever else is coming. Maybe like the run up, we may get the data mine for whatever we get in the run up. I wouldn't really. Yeah, I'd say we probably do, yeah, actually, because I'm pretty sure the run-up last year came out on the 15th. I'd say we'll probably get the same type of information there, so keep that in mind. We should be getting that then. I don't think Rose will be up by the time we get the Anniversaries data mine itself, but I do think you should probably hold off for a while before making your decision, because at least wait until the data mine. You should have a lot of characters they'll be coming out, rerun characters, new characters. You may want them more than you want Rose, and they may be more valuable and more stronger than Rose, I guess. The strength isn't really the big issue here, I would say, when it comes to this unit. So overall, I probably would recommend waiting at the very least to summon, because obviously you don't need Rose yet. I'm pretty sure the event for the Extreme Battle would last for a couple weeks at the very least, so you don't really have to worry too much about that. Just hold out a little bit. Rose isn't going to go anywhere for over a month, so you'll be great. You'll be fine, right? You'll be fine. But if you do want to summon, I don't really blame you. Rose is definitely a really strong unit for sure. And he's a very desired unit. People wanted Rose in the game for a while. Galar's obviously a popular region. Rose is like essentially the main villain, so it doesn't surprise me that people wanted him in the game, right? If you do summon, of course, 2% Poke Fair odds, just go for 1 copy. He doesn't need move levels. Dupes, obviously, if you pick up candies and get him and whatnot, the move levels are great, right? He's got great multipliers. He's got obviously the sync move multipliers here, depending on what you want to use. He's got Surging Sand 3 for a 30% damage multiplier, both sync power nodes here. He's got Haymaker for a 100% sync move multiplier, Furious Brawn for a 30% DPS multiplier here. And by the way, I'm pretty sure this passive here does not apply to sync moves, obviously, because he's a striker, right? He's going to have striker EX, meaning he can hit all enemies anyway, so just keep that in mind. Don't know why I had to state that, but, there you go. So Haymaker and Furious Brawn are obviously some really good abilities there. He's got Steel Damage Field Sync Power Up 5, which 50% power up to his sync move whenever there's a Steel Damage Field on the enemy sync or enemy's field of play, which obviously he applies with Gmax Steel Surge here. So keep that in mind there. That's mostly it. Max Countdown's alright if you want to, preserve your sync move acceleration and whatnot. Sands of Time for some gauge, and then Double Down and Super Duper Effective are not really that great because he's already going to be destroying any super effective stage. But you could actually pick these multipliers up because he does hit so many types super effective here. Double Down I wouldn't really go for it, but if you want a 10% power boost, if you're using Stone Edge, it's very, very likely that you're going to be hitting a super effective stage with it, because otherwise Iron Head is just going to do more damage as it is. Keep that in mind. So if you're using Stone Edge or High Horsepower, it's because you're probably being a super effective damage dealer. So you're probably going to want to use Super Duper Effective 2, which is a 2 out of 5 multiplier, so it's not too bad, right? It's not too bad. And then of course he's got some gauge refresh stuff, I guess, and that's about it, right? That's about it. 3 out of 5 definitely looking pretty solid in terms of just overall damage stuff, I would say. Nothing too crazy, but, definitely not bad for sure. So 3 out of 5 isn't too bad. I'd probably just stick with 1 out of 5, though, because he's going to be crazy as is. Hit the Gas 5 for these power-ups is already great. 50% power-up to Seal moves here. Seal moves, or all moves becoming AoE, especially your max moves. That is broken. That is pretty broken of an ability. So, yeah. Keep that in mind. Rose here at 3 out of 5 isn't necessary, but it's definitely really, really strong. So if you're going to go for a copy, just go for 1. That's it. You'll be good. But I would definitely recommend waiting until the data mine before making your final decision. Maybe you can even wait it out until like the last couple of days of his banner to see if the data mine is going to be coming or not. And if it doesn't, then of course, maybe make your decision to summon then if you want to. I can't really recommend you one way or the other to summon for Rose, with relative ease. I would probably say skipping him is kind of hard for a lot of people, but hey, you don't really need him too much. Steel types, you got Kimono, Grimsley. Rock types, you got... Yep, Rourke's a pretty good rock type, so you can definitely make him work. And then ground types, Cynthia's kind of not really free, but she kind of works. Clay is a relatively solid ground option. I actually have to look at more ground options. Again, Courtney's also in the general pool, so there's that. Naomi, if you were able to pick her up, she's there. Bertha's in the general pool as well, so there's a couple solid ground options. Hapu is definitely a unit in the game. And then, of course, obviously any other ground units. Ground is definitely kind of suffering for, some coverage, so Rose does help that a little bit. Rock is also not really doing too solid, but I would say that Rock's not really struggling in terms of physical damage dealers as much as it is special, so Rose doesn't really help out that much. Her only special Rock-type damage dealers, besides, like, Roxanne, who's a support, is like classic blues, Hyper Beam, and Lodge Steven. I think that's about it, and he only hits for a sync move, so that's a problem. But steel types also, I think the steel types are the help type that need the least amount of help, especially this area, because of course you got Hop for honestly pretty solid damage as a support. Kimono Grimsley's crazy. Obviously we just got Tate as well. He's insane. The main character in Solgaleo, amazing unit for sure, with their grid expansion. You know, Colress, he's got a sync nuke you can work with. Palentine's Marty, Steel Zone, of course, great damage dealer as well. Gloria with her grid Pokefair tiles is amazing for sure. Steven's alright still. He can still make, you know, ends meet. And then, of course, you've got Wickstrom and Mullane here who can still do a lot of damage in their own right as well. So, Steel's definitely not hurting for coverage, right? You can definitely make a lot of decent Steel teams, even using General Pool or free-to-play units for sure. Rock and Ground are the more help-needed types, but Rose doesn't help Rock in the area it needs help. It needs help in special, not physical, not really. And then Grounded, yeah, that's about where the help is needed, so he does help in that aspect, but yeah. I digress. I think I'm going to end the video there. Definitely, I personally don't recommend summoning for Rose yet, but I can't really deter people from summoning. I do say he's got a decent bit of value to him, being, you know, a 3 different type move user, and just having the level of strength that he does, the level of pure power, is a very simple to use unit as well. So, you know, if you're, you know, not super big on, you know, having to make big strategies in order to win, Rose is very, very straightforward, hard-hitting damage dealer that can also become pretty clutch with his 30% flinch chance on all enemies, right? That's definitely very, very good. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to end the video there, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. If you do summon for Rose, let me know how your summons go down in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you all later.